Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rambling RunOff. I am your host, Robert Rios, back with you again for another good poppin' sports week of news. Yes. We got another packed show for you tonight, what time you're listening at. And yeah, we're hoping to have a good time here at Rambling RunOff, virtually again, with my guest host for today's episode, which is 4 weeks in a row, Mr. Danny Tan. Danny, say what's up to everybody.
How's it going? How's it rolling? What's up, Val?
No, yeah. Thanks you for joining us again. And yeah, we got a hot show for you guys on top today. We're gonna be talking some NBA news, of course. There's a fight this weekend between PlantvsBenavídez, and in the warm-up, we're gonna be going over our March Madness brackets that may or may not be alive. And then in the rundown, of course, we got a bunch of stuff: soccer, football. What we got some running stuff in there, whatever, name it. We got it down in the rundown, so make sure you stick around with us towards the end. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to unpack today, and I hope you guys stick around for it. So, Danny, are you ready for this episode?
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I'm excited. Got a lot to cover.
Yeah. That's what I like to hear. And just for our listeners to know, we got some great news for you. I know last week I said that Anchor, one of our main sources of distributing our podcasts, changed their name under their ownership already of Spotify, are now Spotify for podcasters. Some more great news, Danny. And if you happen to have found us on Amazon Music for podcasts, thank you for listening to us. This is our first time here, I believe. And we have a semi-new home as well. We'll be distributing our podcast there as well now. So now we're on Spotify for podcasts, Anchor prior, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. Am I forgetting any, Danny?
YouTube, Stitcher.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's it.
But yeah, Amazon Music podcasts. Look us up. Rambling RunOff. Should be a good time. Yeah, tell your friends and your family and your best friends and your pen pals.
Tell your dog, tell your cat.
There you go. Tell your goldfish. As Ted Lasso says, in this case, don't be like a goldfish. Don't forget to tell your friends. Because when you are a goldfish, you forget.
Yeah.
Like Dory. But she's not a goldfish. But anyways. But yeah, I hope you haven't forgotten, but we're doing a sports podcast, Daniel. Are you ready to start rolling and rambling and running?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, for show. And this week's Rambling RunOff, we got a lot of NBA news to go over, and we got our residential NBA analyst here, Mr. Danny Tan. Danny, I know one of our past episodes, we were talking about how the scoring race is going to be down to the wire with 3 individuals, which now I guess I have to change whatever I've been saying, because now it looks like it's down to 2 individuals, in which one of these guys, Joel Embiid, has just been killing it. What do you got to tell us about Joel Embiid?
March has been his month. He's put up some incredible stats this month. Yeah, he's right now he's averaging 33.6 points a game. He's scored at least 30 points in Philadelphia's last 9 games. I think this is not counting his most recent game against Chicago, where he fouled out in overtime. I think it's his 10th 30-point game in a row. Yeah, I mean, the Sixers were number 2 in the East on Sunday, but with their loss against the Bulls, they fall back to 3. But yeah, Joel Embiid, he's been killing it. He's been shooting threes. Little more, I think he's like 68% from 3. Yeah, he's been absolutely dominating in every game that he makes an appearance.
No, yeah, I mean, you're correct. Yeah, this is not counting his recent fouling out against Chicago, but yeah, he's on the coattails of Nikola Jokic, and yeah, people have already been comparing him to was it Moses Malone, who in the same vanity had the basically same exact point stats and he was able to win MVP. So I think with him showing like his skill set right now in March and just killing the competition, like I think he's above the rest. I would like to point out, you know, a funny story. I was pointing this like the stat comparing Moses him to was it Carmelo? No, Moses Malone, Carmelo. I
Yeah,
forgot which one it was. Wait, which one is it?
I think it's Moses Malone.
Moses Malone. Thank you. And and basically this guy was like, "Why are you posting this stat? It's irrelevant." I'm just like, dude, chill out.
Yeah, I mean, the, the whole of the NBA is comparing, new to old, right? I think a lot of the conversation around Joel Embiid right now is he's the first center to, lead the league in scoring with above 30 points per game since Shaq. Um, yeah, he's getting close to a lot of Shaq's records as a center this season anyway. But that really is the whole conversation every time we talk about the NBA. He's not as good as he was. You can't compare this era to that era. But everything you talk about is comparisons, this to that. Um, but Joel Embiid this season, well, actually, I think as of today, has taken over Nikola Jokic in the MVP leaderboard. He's now the favorite by, I think it was like 25 points, um, odds wise, that is, to win the MVP over the defending MVP, Nikola Jokic. But I can see the argument to go the other way too. Nikola Jokic has been, nearly averaging a triple double. He does a lot of things that Joel doesn't do as a big guy. He's much better at passing. He impacts the game just by showing up and getting to the paint. I mean, not that Joel doesn't, but um, the threat is for him to pass as well. Which, not to knock on Joel Embiid's game, but his passing game is just not on par with Jokic. As soon as Jokic is in the post, his eyes are moving, but at the drop of a hat, he can turn around, toss a little hook up there, and the ball just finds its way into the hoop. But yeah, so I could see the argument go both ways, but I'm glad to see Embiid finally getting his flowers. I think this is his year. Embiid's been one of my favorite players since he's on my fantasy league. Um, my workhorse. Thank you, Joel Embiid. But I think he's been, I think, second or third runner up for nearly the last 5 years. Injuries have really hampered his game. Just his team not being able to make regular season runs and not being at the top of the East has really put him at the lower end of the MVP race. And I think just his impact is not seen stat wise. His presence as a bigger 7-footer really stops people from driving to the rim. Even thinking about taking a longer mid range jumper, his presence is really felt by those smaller guards, those 3-and-D guys who normally just catch and shoot. Embiid will close out. It's not that Jokic won't, but just a bigger guy putting that effort to close out really impacts the game. So I'm really glad to see Joel Embiid getting his flowers right now.
I mean, you said 25 points like if it was only like a lot bit. I mean, it's only a little bit, which is still somewhat catchable, according to the NBA's articles. Embiid and Doncic are on pace to become just the 12th and 13th players in NBA history to average at least 33 points for an entire season. They would join Wilt Chamberlain, who had 7 such seasons, Michael Jordan, who had 3, Elgin Baylor and James Harden, who have 2, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Tiny Archibald, Rick Barry, Kobe Bryant, George Gervin, AI, Allen Iverson, and Bob McAdoo, who all have 1 each. So yeah, I mean they're putting up hella high numbers, and yeah, I mean, Embiid's with Philly. Is this the time where Philly catches fire and the whole trust the process comes all together? Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. Joel's nickname, Joel the Embiid, or excuse me, Joel the Process Embiid. The I think Philly's time is now. James Harden. This is the first time since, like I think the stat was like 1989 since the leading scorer and the leading assist leader in the NBA were on the same team, in Joel Embiid and James Harden. Tyrese Maxey as the third option is doing great. In any game or at any moment, you can have DeAnthony Melton really pop off. Shake Milton has been a great six man. Tobias Harris has been stepping up. George Niang has, kind of been here and there, but when it's time, he really comes in and does his work. And right now, their newest addition, who's been playing a lot of minutes, Daniel House Jr. and Paul Reed as backup centers and sometimes bigger fours, have really been putting a lot of work on the defensive end when Embiid needs to sit out. They unfortunately came in short when Embiid fouled out in the first overtime against Chicago. But I mean, they're two young guys. Unfortunately, it's not a young team. This is a win now team, where if they don't make a deep run and Harden is unhappy, he can leave potentially in free agency this summer. But we'll see. I think this is the best chance Embiid has at a shot at the championship. This is the best chance that Philly has seen at a championship for a long time. It sucks for them that the top teams right now are in the East. Milwaukee and Boston. I think if they were to meet Denver in the NBA Finals, I think it would be an easy Philadelphia win. But to get out of the East, they'd have to stop Giannis and the Bucks, I believe. I don't think it's a Celtics year this year. I don't know. Recently, as an aside, I've been hearing a lot of talk about Jaylen Brown feeling unsatisfied. His name has been in trade rumors and swaps and whatnot, and there's rumors that he won't get the max contract, or that even if they are offering him the max, it's not going to be enough. Someone else is going to offer something, the max plus, or he'll be the number one guy instead of riding second seat to Jason Tatum. So we'll see. We'll see how Boston does at the end of this regular season and into the postseason. But I think this is Philly's year, and it's their time to shine if ever they had one.
All right. I see you. Yeah. Surprising news from Danny Tan saying that the number one of the top teams in the East, Boston, is going to rumble and tumble to the ground.
That's my prediction. Don't put some money on it, but I'll be putting my money where my mouth is. I think Boston falls before the Eastern Conference Finals.
All right. I see you. And continuing on with the trend of Joel Embiid and Doncic and others involved. In the same sense, we're also basically speaking for our MVP contender showdown. Was it the Kia MVP? Yeah, I think right now it's looking to be Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo. All three have been individually outstanding and have used their greatness to lead their teams to three of the top four records in NBA. Entering this week, as of this recording, Milwaukee 51-20, Philly 48-22, and Denver 48-24. Let me see. The voters at this moment probably be leaning for Embiid. I know you've kind of already hinted at it. That's going to be Embiid. It's his time to get his flowers. I think this Saturday, if I have this correctly, Jokic and Antetokounmpo, they'll face off for the first time this season when the Nuggets host the Bucks at 9 Eastern on NBA TV. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Daniel, who do you have as your MVP right now, besides Embiid? Unless Embiid's your guy.
If Embiid was taken out of the equation, I'd give it to Jokic. I think he, not to take anything away from Giannis, but Jokic has, consistently impacted the game on both ends of the floor. You know what? No, I take that back. I think Giannis is a better defensive player, but Jokic just does so much more for the team. My favorite quote from him is his favorite type of play is a passing play, because he says an assist makes two people happy. The person that scores and he gets an assist because he allowed that person to score. Um, but on the flip side, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's an unstoppable monster. You people talk about LeBron when he gets a full head of steam um, to the rack, it's unstoppable. Think about nearly doubling the size and giving it to Giannis. He once he gets a head of steam, they have to pick him up at the 3-point line because without one quick step, if he rolls to the rack, there's almost nothing stopping him. You got to take a charge and set yourself. But he's honestly too quick to have anyone take a charge. But I think Jokic, just as a passer and rebounder, I think this year, nearly averaging a triple double and leading his team with Jamal Murray kind of stumbling. I'd give it to him. But then again, you can make the argument the other way. Giannis with Chris Middleton, first half of the season nearly, um, not returning until near the end of the season, and even then he had a couple of injuries that kept him out. Giannis has really been carrying this Milwaukee team and led them to be the number one team in the league right now. So I think for right now, I'd give it to Jokic just because of the incredible stat line that he's been able to put up throughout the entire season. But I could see the case for Giannis too.
All right. So if you had to do an order at least, so who's number one? Embiid, Giannis, or
Yeah, I would go Embiid 1. Man, I think I just talked myself into Giannis 2 and Jokic 3. But man, it's real tough.
no? Yeah, that's what I said when you were saying, oh, he'll in the scoring record, oh, he'll be ahead by 25. Like that's not a lot.
Yeah,
Like
no,
it's even just. I mean, you did make a good point. Their playing styles are totally different, but all even with our third candidate in here for the MVP, like it's still a close race.
yeah.
Getting
I mean,
double, triple doubles, like
yeah.
it's a hard
Y-
ball.
Jokic is tied with Giannis in leading the league with rebounds per game. The only one higher than them is Domantas Sabonis. Excuse me. But then again, Jokic as a big guy, he's number 4 in assists per game this season. So although he's not in the points per game leading the league, he's leading in 2 other categories in the top 5. Oh, man, it's a tough. Man, it is a tough decision. I think I'll lock in. I think I have to lock in Embiid 1, Jokic 2, Giannis 3. That's
You
my
heard it
5.
here first from Danny Tan. I think I would put. I have it the same way. I just have Giannis as my number 2 though.
No, I could see that. Yeah, Giannis is number 5 in points per game
As of right now.
as of right now, and he's still tied with rebounds per game with Jokic. I mean, I can see the argument that way as well. Um, but man, yeah, it's a tough MVP race this year. Um, yeah, I don't know how those voters are gonna use their number one MVP votes, but I don't envy him. It's a tough decision.
All right. But moving on now, very quickly. Danny, I know a couple episodes as well. Um, you had mentioned the Sacramento Kings are really good. I mean, they're surprising me from a team that almost, well, at least from a name that almost stopped existing. The Sacramento Kings
Oh yeah,
almost being moved to Seattle. Maybe, as they say, one fax or one email away from disappearing.
yep,
Um, this team has gone on to like a really good start, and they're continuing that progress past the All-Star break now. And yeah, man. Looking up research, a man by the name of De'Aaron Fox. Apparently, he's added another entry to this clutch player of the year resume with his third game winning shot of the season, a 3-pointer with under a second remaining to beat the Chicago Bulls on Wednesday in Chicago recently. The Kings have the longest active road winning streak in the league, 7 straight wins, and will look to extend it this week. I know they played Utah, and they try to look for a 4-game sweep on the road. So, Danny, what can you tell me about these Kings? Because I remember last time you were saying they were looking exciting. Who was your main guy that you were saying that the Kings are making them look good?
Yeah, I mean that's it. You said De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis have been dominating um, in the Kings. I think they're still leading the league as a number one offense. But yeah, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, uh, Monique Monk coming off the bench, Trey Lyles, another guy off the bench. Kevin Herter, Keegan Murray as a rookie has been doing really well. I mean, they're just a very solid offensive team. Defensively, I think they can use some work, but even then, they got Mike Brown, a very defensive minded coach. They're not slacking on defense. Domantas Sabonis really, that's another big guy that he's not soft. He, just like his dad, he really puts in the effort. And if you're gonna attack him, you're gonna get a little bit of elbow. You're gonna have to really work for that bucket. But De'Aaron Fox has really cemented himself as the guy. The Kings invested in him. They traded away Tyrese Halliburton to get him Domantas Sabonis to get this duo together, and it's really paid off. I think he really suffered sharing the ball in the earlier seasons with Halliburton. It's it's kind of a case study that we're kind of seeing it even in Atlanta, where DeJounte Murray and Trae Young kind of have to share the ball. It seems like it's working out a little bit better for them, but De'Aaron Fox has really shown that they were right to choose him over Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, not that Halliburton's having a bad season; he made the All Star team this year as well. But De'Aaron Fox has really, I think he'll definitely be the clutch player of the year this year. But this team has just been really, really solid, taking a surprising amount of wins on the road, and really giving it to teams that normally like the Grizzlies or the Golden State Warriors that normally have like great offenses, move quick off ball, and really pick apart your offense and throw your defense in the spin cycle. They really have been able to adjust, even as a young team that's kind of been thrown together. Yeah, they're a really exciting team, and I think right now they're standing at third in the West, one game behind the Memphis Grizzlies. Um, but surprisingly, the West is so close that no team has secured a playoff win or a playoff spot, excuse me, in the West yet. So if the Denver Nuggets lose all their games and all the teams under them win their games, they can potentially be outside of the play-in tournament. So the West is really really tough right now, wide open. We'll see where it goes, but the Sacramento Kings are someone to watch. I believe they just tipped off against the Celtics, and we can check in to see how they're doing.
While you're doing that, I just like to point out that Domantas Sabonis is on pace to become the third NBA center to average 7+ assists per game. He would join a very limited list, which includes Nikola Jokic and a one great Wilt Chamberlain.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, checking in, we got 8 minutes left in the second quarter. The Kings are tied at 37 apiece with Boston. Yeah, and Boston, a very solid team, number 2 in the East right now. You don't want to sleep on the Kings. They're a young team, and like you said, De'Aaron Fox is a fourth quarter guy. Typically, you find that fourth quarter when the game slows down a little bit, you have to slow down the possession, make every point matter, every stop matters, every possession, every play matters. The Kings are doing great. I don't know plus minus in fourth quarter games when the score is 4 or less, but from what I've seen, every game that they've played has come down to the wire. Even the ones that they lose, it's a great effort that they put in there. There are small errors here and there, but that's because they're a young team. If they're not able to make a deep playoff run this year, they really are a team to watch in the next couple of years. So yeah, they're a really fun team to watch as well. So if you guys have a chance, NBA League Pass or whatnot, go ahead and check them out.
No, yeah. I mean, for me, a very surprising performance from the Kings. I would also like to put in the Knicks as well. But for the Kings, yeah, I mean, as a team that almost disappeared a couple years ago, it's great to see them kind of rowing back in a way. So, but yeah, um, moving along now in our itinerary, unless you have anything else to say about these Kings. Um,
Nothing about the Kings. I think that's
all
it.
right, I'm gonna go over some national TV spotlighting. Danny, at some point, just tell me which game looks good, which games are high, and which ones are not. We got Boston at Sacramento. And then Wednesday we got Golden State at Dallas, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Snooze
Also
fest.
when Wednesday, Phoenix at Los Angeles Lakers, 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. What do you think?
I think that's also a snooze fest. I don't think Kevin Durant's going to be there. If he is able to make a return, that's a great game to watch. If not, um, I don't think it'd be very fun to watch.
All right. And then on Friday, we got Philadelphia at Golden State, 10 p.m. Eastern, NBA TV.
I think that's a great game to watch. It's a good test for Philly, and it's a good barometer for Golden State, who is supposedly healthy. They still got Wiggins out, but um, they're doing the best with what they can. If Philly is able to dominate the Golden State Warriors, I think everyone will see them as a legit contender. So that's a great game to watch.
And then on Sunday, to close it out, we got Memphis at Atlanta, 6 p.m. Eastern, NBA TV.
Yeah, two pretty good trash talking teams, young teams. I like Atlanta. Memphis really is just really scrappy. But Atlanta has with their new coach, uh, they they've been really picking better teams apart. Even though they've been handed a handful of losses since their new coach has signed on. I think it's a fair game to watch if you're not doing anything. But if you're doing anything else, you know I would do whatever else. As an Atlanta fan, I would just do whatever else. I'm gonna watch because I'm an Atlanta fan, but I don't think this is a game that you have to invest your time into.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then going down to a couple of League Pass games, not sponsored. Uh, Oklahoma City at the Los Angeles Clippers. Then Wednesday and or Friday, uh, check out Houston at Memphis. This Memphis game might be important in regards to next two Memphis games might be important because we might be seeing John Morant hitting the court again, who's made appearances now with the team. Not dressed, but he's been there. And then on Friday, we got Oklahoma City at the Los Angeles Lakers, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, League Pass as well. Then Saturday night, Brooklyn at Miami at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Danny, I did promise you a little bit of time. Would you like to go over
Yes.
a little bit of your fantasy team? I think what we're just gonna end up have to do, because I know we've kind of held it off for a while. We're gonna have to give you your own programming. You're gonna discuss all your players, but in a quick verse, can you give us an update and explanation of your NBA fantasy league team?
Yeah. Right now, I am in the championship matchup. So this will be the last week for me. I will know by Sunday if I've won or lost. Well, losing ended up in second place, but I am currently winning a 6-2 matchup against the number one seed in my fantasy league. My star players are Joel Embiid. I've got Tyrese Maxey, DeJounte Murray, who's been out today with a non-COVID related sickness. I just picked up Keegan Murray. Paulo Mancaro has been, my rookie of the year. You know, one of my best consistent players. I've got Jonathan Kaminga, Clint Capella, Jonas Valanciunas, Kevon Looney, Kelly Oubre Jr., DeMar DeRozan. Another solid season for him. Not as good as his season last year, where he even garnered a couple of talks for MVP. I pick up Jared Vanderbilt. Been great for the Lakers. A great defensive guy. A lot of energy on the floor. And another rookie for me, Ben Matherin. Um, and I just picked up Rodney McGruder. Uh, a smaller role player for the Detroit Pistons. He's been doing really well recently. Didn't do super great tonight, but I don't know. I'll probably drop him by tomorrow, but we'll see. My team's been doing really well. I'm winning 6-2. It's only Tuesday, but um, yeah, I'm hoping by Saturday. I don't know if I've won or not, stats wise. Yeah, it's been a great season for me. I think I started off third in the draft. Um, Ended up grabbing Joel Embiid. I believe Giannis went first, Jokic went second, and then I grabbed Embiid. But it's been a great season. I ended up second seed with, give me 1 second, with 94 wins, 75 losses, 2 ties. That's compared to the 113 wins and 53 losses for the number one seed. So yeah, I mean, it's been a great season. It looks this week is looking really good for me. I don't want to jinx anything, but I think I got this cat in the bag.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
But yeah, thank you for the update. I think we might just have to do a podium show for you, Danny, so
Oh
we can learn
yeah.
fully how this works. I don't do fantasy leagues. I wouldn't say I'm the best um, predictor, which you don't hear us doing a lot of predictions on here for that said reason, because it's sports. Sometimes the ball gets carried by the wind and you don't score. So
I
that's what
went in an
happens.
indoor arena.
Hey, the AC, bro. Remember when LeBron was complaining about the heat in San
Yeah, in
Antonio?
San Antonio, they try to kill LeBron.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thank you for that update. And I think that's everything in our NBA section. Unless you have anything else to add, Danny.
Nope. Yeah. I hope Embiid, please. This is your season. I don't know if he'll ever have another season like this. So please, I hope Embiid gets his flowers. He gets his first MVP. He's able to make a deep run, make a finals appearance, and hopefully, win a championship. Yeah, I really hope for the Sixers and for Embiid's sake, for his legacy's sake, that he's able to clinch a ring.
And Harden just got traded, so Crazy's 100% now.
Come on.
One Chuck said that, not me. Just saying.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, if that's everything, I think we're gonna go move on now to our next lap of sports news, sports ramen that we have on tap. Danny, I know this is another topic that you love, another athletic competition that you have much interest in which
Yes, sir.
some boxing this coming weekend, which I thought was next month, but excuse me, I've just been all over the place apparently. We got Mr. Plant versus Mr. Benavidez. So we have undefeated former two-time world boxing champion, not that WBC, the other WBC super middleweight champion, David El Bandera Roja Benavidez, and former IBF super middleweight champion, Caleb Plant, will meet in a 12-round high-stakes showdown on Saturday, March 25th, 2023, at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas to settle the long simmering feud. You can catch that fight on Showtime pay-per-view, U.S. local time, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, which, doing research, I found that is about 5 a.m. BST in the UK. The fight will take place over 12 rounds in the super middleweight division, which means the weight limit will be 168 pounds. For our European listeners, that is 12 stone or 76.2 kilograms, kg. The contest is also a final eliminator for the WBC Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Danny, what are your thoughts about this fight?
What can I say? I mean, Caleb Plant's found himself in another fight with a lot of trash talk. Stemming from, it seems like a gym incident where David Benavidez, the Benavidez brothers, are talking trash, trying to get up in Caleb Plant's face. I think he was alone in that gym. You could probably find the video on YouTube or something. I think he was alone in that gym. But this is kind of the story of Caleb Plant's evolution and David Benavidez being a monster in the ring. He's probably one of the most aggressive boxers that I've seen at his size, with his reach, with incredible hand speed. And Caleb Plant, this is like his his comeback story from his loss against Canelo. We'll see what he does. I mean, in his fight against Darrell, Caleb Plant really showed that he kind of learned his mistakes from that Canelo fight, where he kind of gave up too much respect to Canelo. Really let him handle the ring. Canelo, as we all know, is a consistent counterpuncher. He normally sits, waits, baits his opponent here and there, counterpunches with his quick hands, looking for a left hook, quick double left hook, overhand right. Caleb Plant, I think, anticipated that and tried to take that position away from him in his fight against Canelo, and try to exhaust him by forcing Canelo to be the aggressor. But I think Canelo already knew that. He came in with a fighting plan, and since then, I think Caleb Plant has really learned his lesson and learned that he really needs to come up with a good strategy as soon as he gets in the ring. I think Caleb Plant is a much more tactical boxer than Benavidez.
No, yeah, I mean that sounds great. I mean, it should be a good fight. I mean, I didn't know about all that beef that they had at the gym. I mean, that's a little bit weird that you would have to start beef during training. But I mean, you said it best. He got himself into this fight with his mouth, which seems about how everybody seems to get every fight that they want nowadays. Long are the days where boxers, the story was that you got the fight you wanted when you lost, but that's not what happens now. It's always the undefeated people going up against the undefeated, right? Is that what it is now?
Yep.
Yeah, so you want
Yeah.
the best of the best going up against the best of the best. But I mean, I guess that was just an old story tale boxing type of mythology that people no longer really follow. Which I guess it's fair. Times kind of changed. That was many years ago. I mean, I guess you could see the tall tale that was around Pacquiao and the Mayweather saga that took place when we were kids. So that's definitely gone out the door. But going over some stats between Plant and Benavidez, I'll go over. Well, the one thing they have that's similar, Danny, is that both Caleb Plant and David Benavidez fight out of an unorthodox stance.
Yep.
Caleb Plant uh, steps into the ring with the record of 22 wins, 1 loss, and 0 draws, 13 of those wins coming by the way of knockout. Caleb Plant is older by 4 years at 30 years old. His experience as a professional fighter is relatively equal to Benavidez, having had 3 less fights and made his debut in 2014, 8 months later than Benavidez, whose first professional fight was in 2013. He has fought 24 more professional rounds, 142 to Benavidez's 118. Caleb Plant goes into the fight ranked number 1 by the WBA, 1 by the WBC, 2 by the WBO, 3 by the IBF, and 2 by the Ring at super middleweight. Across the ring for Mr. David Benavidez, a little bit of a shorter list. David Benavidez will make his way to the ring with an unblemished record of 26 wins and 0 draws, with 23 of those by knockout. Benavidez has a 2-inch reach advantage over Plant. And to round it off, David Benavidez is currently ranked number 1 by the Ring in the 168-pound division. So, Danny, I know you kind of went over it, but what, like, not just in regards to not just the simple thought of what you think is going to happen in this fight, but where do you see this fight going?
Yeah, I see Benavidez obviously being the more aggressive fighter. He comes out swinging. He's great at breaking defenses up. His hand speed, uh, juggling the head back and forth with a couple of quick, short blows. Benavidez has this habit of really tossing his body into every heavy punch that he lands at the end of his combinations, and sometimes he just throws him in between when he's trying to back an opponent up. But I think Caleb Plant saw that a little bit against his last opponent, Darrell, and he wasn't super. It didn't seem like he was super ready for it, but he was prepared to take those hits. He took them on the chin, took them near the back of the head a couple of times. Um, and still plowed forward. And I think that's something that he didn't do against Canelo, and it's something that he's learned to do. And obviously, it's been nearly a year since that last fight. Um, yeah, I think. Oh, excuse me. The Darrell fight was in October of last year. So just about 6 months. Um, but since then, I'm sure he's learned quite a bit more. And studying Benavidez is strange, kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, like a lawnmower. All he does is just he rolls forward, hits you back and forth, um, and doesn't stop. Even against fighters who are great at throwing heavy combinations right after being pelted, um, he's got great head movement. His his hand defense is a little lacking for Benavidez, but it's been working for him so far. I think Plant might be a slower start, um, as he always is, just like Canelo. But it's going to be a really interesting fight. Kind of see a tactician versus someone who kind of runs off pure instinct, and you know Benavidez doesn't just react. He's not just a counterpuncher, but he takes whatever position and situations right in front of him, and he really just goes and attacks it with a sledgehammer. Well, we'll see what wins out. I really like Caleb Plant's defense. He's a great defensive boxer. You can really see his gears turning when he's in a tight situation, or he sees an opening that he really likes. We'll see kind of what's the better tactic in this case. Their reach is right about the same, right around the same height. Just a couple inches difference in between those two. Um, yeah, we'll see either the animal-like instincts or the tactician who's a little slower to start. I think I like Caleb Platt in this contest just because he's got a little bit more to prove. Um, and Benavidez has really been running his mouth, so I think Caleb Plant has calmness, a little bit of anger, and Benavidez might have just that road rage anger that kind of might blind you sometimes. Um, but yeah, what do you think, Robert? Who do you have winning this fight?
I don't know. I think Plant is kind of catching my attention here. I mean, his one of his last contests was against dang, I just had it and it disappeared. Um,
Yeah, Anthony Durrell.
yeah, against Darrell, and I think he's won his last 4 out of 5. His loss was against one loss was against Canelo, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so I thinking, yeah, I think I'm gonna have Plant in this one. Uh,
Yeah.
I think Benavidez is due for a 1 in his record, and yeah, I mean with Benavidez, who did been David Lumeau, Lemo,
Yes. Yeah.
uh,
I don't know
he
how
def-
that's how you pronounce it, but
I believe so.
yes.
Yeah, Benavidez defeated him, technical knockout in the third round, which I think this match is gonna go farther than that third round. I can tell you that. Uh,
Yeah.
if if Plant can go far with Canelo, who hits very very hard, and take a beating, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna go far into this fight. I don't think they're gonna hit 12 rounds. Let's say the 10th round. Let's say it ends in the 10th round. You think we'll go around that? You think that's a good time range for the bout to go?
Yeah. You know what? I think yeah, 10 to 11th round. I think is where this will end up. Um, I can see it going to decision. In that case, I see Plant winning in decision. So I think unless Benavidez is really able to knock down Killer Plant or grab a knockout here, I think in the long run, if this goes the distance, I think it's gonna go to Plant. But it's interesting that we both pick Plant because Benavidez is kind of the heavy favorite to win this bout.
I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see when the fight comes around because finding some more information to back me up here. Plant has been 4 of his last opponents, stopping 3 of them, going the distance once. In his last fight, which I had mentioned for Plant, I'm saying his win against Anthony Durrell on the 15th of October 2022. It was via knockout in the ninth round at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, United States. Previously to that, he had been beaten by Canelo Alvarez on November 6th, 2021 by knockout in the 11th round. So, I'm telling you, they're going to go far. Um, so I hope Benavidez is ready. He's prepared to go the distance in this one because unless he comes out swinging and as you said, you compared him to a lawnmower. um, I guess with his back and forth strategy,
Yeah,
hitting in, hitting out. Uh, I'm pretty sure. Well, if Plant is a professional, he's going to be prepared for that.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, let me see what else we got here. For Benavidez, previously to that, he had won against Kyron Davis on November 13th by technical knockout in the seventh round at Footprint Center in Arizona. Going into the contest, he had defeated Ronald Ellis on the March 13th, 2021 by technical knockout on the 11th round out in Connecticut. So yeah, we're gonna have an interesting matchup because these guys both, I would say, orthodox style, very similar heavy hitters. So I'm not really sure what's gonna happen in this battle. If I'm being honest with you, Danny, I'd be really surprised if they go to decision though.
yeah. I think we're gonna have a slow maybe first round. Second round, I think it's gonna pick up. I think Benavidez is really gonna be the aggressor. And I think eventually Caleb Plant is just gonna plant, and he can't let Benavidez bully him with his slight reach advantage. And I think it's gonna end up being a bit of a slugfest. I can see Plant, near the ropes or with his back against the ropes. Kind of just like he did against Canelo, but finding ways to escape and turning it around and turning the pressure onto Benavidez. Um, but I could see both fighters going down at some point in this fight, um, just because exactly how, what you said, the power that these two have behind their punches, the speed of Benavidez and Caleb Plant just um, tactically knowing where his fighter will be, and just baiting his time, biding his time, and waiting for that perfect hit like he did against Darrell in the ninth round. Um, with it, and Caleb Plant doesn't have slow hands either. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough fight, tough bout. I think Plant has it in the end, but we'll see how it shakes down.
No, I'm ready for this fight. Are you ready for this fight?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is really gonna be a fight to watch.
And do you happen to know when is the weigh-in? I don't know if they have.
Yes, I think the weigh in is that Friday, I believe. Um, if you give me 1 second, I can
That's
find
why
out
I've been
for you.
trying to find the past couple of days. I'm like, does no one write about this? Is this not a thing? I'm like, that's impossible.
Weigh in for Saturday's matchup will be
What you got for me, Danny?
uh
Where's
oh, there's the
your
odds.
where your
Seems like
your
it's
research
50
skills
55.
telling you?
My research skills are telling me that there's a lot of people tweeting about this.
I mean, it is
Uh,
a formidable fight, so I wouldn't be surprised if people are not looking this up. I don't know. What do you think?
yeah, yeah.
Do you
I'm
think
not
we're gonna
sure.
see? Are we gonna see any fireworks?
I don't know, man. It's a tough fight to even really discuss because uh, I don't think there's a hydration clause in there. So even I think excuse me, I think both fighters are supposed to weigh in at like 168, something like that. Um, but that's just cutting. And by the time they step into the ring, they can be sitting at like 180, 178, whatever, gaining 10, 15, even 20 pounds back from hydration. Yeah, because I believe the weigh-in is Friday night, um, and then I don't think they have a hydration clause. I think they just weigh in right before they step into the ring again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Oh, I
it'll be
found
interesting to see.
some information in regards to the fight for Ninjas, and it was hidden in their Instagram. So Wednesday they have an open workout from 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Thursday is the final press conference,
Mhm.
3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard. Then Friday, you are correct, official weigh-in, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. here. And then yeah, Saturday, March 25th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, Showtime pay-per-view. Order now, showtime.com/pay-per-view. Not sponsored.
Thank you. Not a sponsor.
If that
I
was
love
not a
it.
build up for this fight, I don't know what is. But yeah, are you gonna be able to watch this fight, Danny? Are you gonna do some research
I
or
I will
something?
be watching this fight. So yeah, I'll be doing some research and we'll definitely talk about it in next week's show.
All right, all right. And are we having a watch party or what?
I mean, yeah, we can definitely have a watch party, man.
Let me ask you this: since we already kind of discussed who we think, I think Plant's gonna win. You think Plant's gonna win.
Yep.
Not really much of a debate between the two of us. How about for funsies? What is your favorite boxing snack?
Ooh, favorite boxing snack? That's a great question. Man, you know what? I don't think anything beats a couple of street tacos and a beer. Yeah.
And
So
what
I
type
guess
of
it's more of a meal, but
yeah. I mean, whatever you prefer.
yeah, some quick hand food because I'm not the guy to sit still while watching a boxing match, and yeah, and some beers.
What type of alcoholic beverage?
Yeah, I like a bit of heavier beers, IPAs, lagers. Yeah. What about you, Robert?
I like me some carne asada and some like Doritos and some rice
Wow,
and beans.
wow. Oh,
And
that's
then
a great answer.
for beverage of choice, I have two. It's either gonna be an ice cold Pepsi, non-alcoholic. But
Not a
if
sponsor.
I do also like me some alcoholic drinks. Simple
Yeah,
beer as you. It's Modelo Time Fu.
Modelo
So,
time. Yeah,
but
I'm more
yeah,
of
if
a Heineken man myself. Not sponsors, by the way.
but yeah, and then if you're desperate, just get some water.
Yeah.
Ice cold though, ice cold. It has to be ice cold
Oh, everything's got to be cold. Come
because
on.
it keeps you like on your toes as well. You're like I'm nervous. I was like, it's cold.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You see,
Yeah.
you get it, but you get it.
Yeah. I see you. I see you. Imagine yourself in the ring.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you got your coach. You got your cut man dumping water on your head.
Yeah, or
I see
the
you.
bucket of
I see you,
ice on the
Robert.
side,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you have your own bucket on the side so you can spit and pretend like you're
Yeah.
the boxers.
Your spit bucket.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. I mean, do you have anything else to add in regards to this fight, Danny?
No, I'm really excited to see. We'll see if this is another, you know, talk shit, get hit type of fight. You know,
Yeah,
Caleb Plant put that away with Durrell.
I just hope
Um,
it's not a snooze fest because yeah, like how we said,
oh
they're two heavy hitters. They might be chilling and running
yeah,
around. Well, not even running, skipping around because they're bigger. And yeah,
yeah. I'll be very disappointed, especially in Benavides with all this trash talk. Um, you know, talking trash right to his face. Saying this and that and whatnot, and being the aggressive fighter that he is. If he shows up into the ring and is evasive and really holds his hands and doesn't let him go, I'd be really disappointed. Right? I think that would count as a loss in my book to Benavides, even if it goes and he's declared the winner. Um, yeah, that'd be gutting for me to see that in a fight.
nah, I feel you. But yeah, if you guys are interested, make sure you guys go check out the fight on Saturday. Like I said, it will be on Showtime pay per view. Um,
Not a
on
sponsor.
Saturday 25th, uh, 9 p.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. BST in the UK. But yeah, after we have enough of that, we're gonna be moving on now in our programming, as always, of course. Next lap of news, and we're into the warm up, in which Danny will be updating us as well on his March Madness bracket and mine as well, which both of our brackets have gone to the wayside, unfortunately. And but I would like to
Oh
say
yeah.
though, however, I would like to speak first on this one and say that my bracket was on fucking fire like the first like 24 hours, bro. Dude, watch, let me pull up my bracket right now, dude. And no one's going to believe me, but I don't give a shit because my bracket was hella good. It was better than yours for at least a span of
Oh
24
yeah.
hours, and
Oh,
you
most
cannot deny
definitely.
that
No.
because I scored, according to ESPN's app on their bracketology, out of the round of 64, I had a score of 250 points out of a possible
Wow.
320.
Wow. And
Suck
in
it.
comparison, I scored 190 out of 320 for the round of 64.
And then
Yeah.
after that, I just fell apart because I had like 100 and yeah, I basically had your score the first day, Danny.
Yeah.
I was in
Oh,
like and even on the app on ESPN, it had me ranked 800.
wow. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in like the top 99%.
Yeah. And you know what is crazy? I think every bracket has been broken. I don't think there's a surviving bracket. I think on Monday there was one bracket left that survived.
Yeah,
Uh,
I remember you had sent me something on Twitter saying there was only like 0.12 brackets alive, which is
yeah, and that was
nothing.
on Saturday. Um, so by Sunday, I think it was 0.000035,
Oh gosh,
like a
that's like
minuscule amount.
like
I think it
four
was like
people.
less than like 200.
Yeah.
Um, and that was Sunday morning, and then by Sunday night, I think there was one bracket that survived. Maybe I read the wrong article, or maybe it was just clickbait or whatever. But yeah, that's crazy.
Oh
I
no,
mean,
yeah.
bracket. Go ahead.
What were you gonna say? Bracket what?
I was gonna say bracket wise, I still have my winner in the race. I've got Alabama
Oh, shut
winning it
up.
all.
Oh, get out of
Uh,
here. Fuck
oh
you.
come on, man. Yeah, wait, yeah.
No.
What about your winner? Where's your winner at? Huh? Yeah,
Unfortunately,
that's right.
everyone after the first day, my bracket came tumbling down to the point where I only had one team left
Oh my
from
god,
my final four,
come
which I
on.
believe was Purdue, and I didn't even have them in the final.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I have two winners in my final four left. I went Alabama and Texas, uh, going to make it to the final four. But I still have a handful of teams left in the Sweet 16. So
Yeah,
my score
same.
for the Sweet 16 is going to be like probably like 50%, whatever.
Now
Um,
the only problem
but
is that all the teams I have are teams that are losing. So like I'm like, damn, I'm like, wait, it says I have teams that made it. So I have like Tennessee, I have like Kansas State, I have Miami,
yeah.
but I will have them losing. So I
Oh,
mean, I'll get
okay.
the points because they lost,
Yeah, but you're
but it
not going to
doesn't.
get
Yeah,
the final.
exactly. Because
Yeah.
my round of 32 is only 60, and then of course I get 0 for Sweet 16. Where are you at in the round of 32 right now?
In the round of 32, I got 160. So I did pretty well in the round of 32.
You fucking bastard.
Relatively speaking, 50%, not bad. In my Sweet 16, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 11 of the 16 correct in my Sweet 16. So I'm doing pretty damn well,
I mean, yeah,
Sweet
you
16
still get a
wise.
chance. I mean, I think what started screwing it up for everybody in the first place was that fucking San Diego State. No, no.
Yeah,
What was it? The no, before that,
it was the
Virginia
Maryland
losing.
one.
No, Virginia losing to Furman.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Um, West Virginia taking down, or sorry, yeah, West Virginia losing to Maryland in that first day.
Oh, for you? Pff, I had
Yeah.
Maryland
Oh,
winning.
oh, really? I think that took
You,
out like most people's brackets
you dumb bitch.
in the very first day. Oh, shut up. And then that Arizona loss to Princeton, I think, was another um a big upset that took a lot of brackets out.
Dude, the one
Um,
that started screwing me up was well, it was about to happen. I had it as an upset. I'm like, all right, fuck it. If they lose, they lose. Kennesaw State almost beat Xavier, and
oh
Xavier
yeah,
came back in the last like 2 minutes of the game because
yeah,
Kennesaw State just stopped scoring.
yeah. I
The
don't
one
know what
that
happened
really
to them.
they I don't know. I think they went on
They just
like
broke down.
Yeah, they broke down, and the one that really screwed me over was the Pittsburgh Iowa State game. It was close for a while, and then
Mm,
Pitt just kind of ran away with it.
yeah.
Um, let me see who else. VCU. I thought they were gonna do better. Lost against St. Mary's. Um, who else did I? Who else did I screw it up with? I don't know. I'm trying to see. I don't know who else screwed you up.
Um, in the round of 64, I had quite a bit of losses. Northwestern beating out Boise State. That was a. I mean, I think most people had it that way, but I thought Boise State was going to pull an upset. That was one of the upsets that I thought was going to go through. Um, Same as you, yeah. VCU losing to St. Mary's. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, Iowa State losing to Pittsburgh. Uh, yeah, Iowa losing to Auburn. Didn't see that coming either.
You didn't see
Um,
Arizona losing either, but
yeah,
oh well.
yeah.
I could have
But
told. Dude, how come you didn't believe me? I told you. Just because they're good in the pack, don't mean they're good everywhere else. Princeton is a basketball school.
yeah, Arizona in the last few years has been a great basketball school as well. Um, they've made a handful of tournaments. They never really get far, but you'd expect them, with the seeding that they had this year, to at least make it to the round of 32. But you know, it pains me to say you're right, Robert.
Oh, I would also like to clarify. I messed up saying earlier that Purdue was going to make it to my Final Four.
Yeah, no,
No, no,
I did
it was
it as well.
Maryland that was my last saving grace on my last day. 'Cause
You had
Purdue,
Maryland making it to the Final Four?
I had Purdue winning it all.
Oh my God, that's crazy,
What
man.
the dude, bro? We literally had a show about this last week, and you said the
Yeah, I
same
know.
thing,
I
bro.
totally forgot.
Yeah, that's why I was
But
looking.
man,
I'm
that
like, wait, no, wait. Purdue lost to we don't
Purdue lost
we
to.
don't usually say foul language on here, but Purdue lost to Farlight Dickinson
Yeah,
University,
University. Yeah,
Fair
FDU.
Dickinson, whatever they're called.
Yeah,
63 to 58, which was a pretty big deal because they were the 16th seed, which it's still pretty
yeah,
rare nowadays.
yeah. I think I saw on the Instagram this is like the second time a 16 seed has taken down the number one.
Yeah, I think it's in back-to-back
Yeah,
years as well.
yeah, which is crazy. Um, but yeah, I mean, I got kind of demolished around 64. Round 32 went okay for me, but yeah, I'm not doing too bad in the round of in the Sweet 16. I mean, yeah, I think the only matchup I have that I predicted totally. I have a handful. I got Gonzaga and UCLA, Xavier in Texas, and Alabama and San Diego State. So those are the teams that kind of made it through for me. Um, so of those matchups, I have Alabama making it through. I have got Texas taking Xavier and Gonzaga taking UCLA. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but yeah, things are shaking up and shaking out. I still think Alabama's going to take it.
All right, for sure, for sure, for sure. But yeah, it's looking up to be a interesting final competition of games. Because yeah, in the Sweet 16, as of this recording, we got Gonzaga versus UCLA, UConn versus Arkansas, Xavier versus Texas, Houston versus Miami, Kansas State versus Michigan State, FAU versus Tennessee, Creighton versus Princeton, and Alabama versus San Diego State.
Yes, sir. Alabama. I see Alabama making it through. Yeah, so all these games are centering around the 24th and the 23rd, which I believe are Friday and Saturday. Excuse me, Thursday and Friday. So yeah, by
Yeah,
by
this coming week.
Saturday, yeah, well, by Saturday we'll have our Elite Eight, and we'll see who survives and who gets knocked out.
Danny, if Alabama doesn't make it, I'll give you a wager, a semi competition.
Okay.
If Alabama doesn't make it to the final, I will buy you a shot, but I get to pick it.
Wait, so you're saying if Alabama makes it to the final, you buy me the shot, or if they get knocked out, you
No,
buy
if
me
they
the
don't,
shot?
if they don't make it,
If they don't make it,
but I get to pick it though.
oh, so you're saying this is a punishment shot?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
making
sure.
a competition out of this on the spot
So, and if they do make it,
to the final. You pay for the shot, and then you get to pick what I take.
wait, this is backwards.
Are you sure?
So, yeah, so
Okay,
you
all
could pick
right.
it,
How should it be?
but I'd have to pay for it, and then the reverse. If Alabama makes it through, I get to pick it, and you have to pay for it.
But it doesn't make no sense because then no, I'm saying like worst shot possible. Like I know
Yeah,
you don't. There's shots you don't like, and there's shots I don't like. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying now?
yeah. So I still get to pick the bad shot for you, but you get the double punishment of having to pay for that terrible shot as well. You see what
Okay,
I
you
mean?
want all right? You want to do it that way? We could do it that way.
I think that's the way to do it because even if it's a bad shot, if you're paying for it, it's a free shot for me. I'll take it. You know, it tastes worse if you have to pay for it yourself. Come on, man.
Okay, so to
Okay.
clarify, if if Alabama doesn't make it, you pay for the shot, but I pick it.
Yeah, and you pick it. But if they do make it, I'll be picking you a horrible drink, and you'd have to pay for it.
Okay, fair enough. Air
Okay.
handshake.
Air handshake. I see you through. There we go, buddy.
You're shaking with your wrong hand, but okay.
Yeah.
There you
Let's
go.
see. The camera's mirrored.
Oh, okay, that's probably what it is then. Oh, because I'm not looking at it. There, this is why. There you go. But yeah, got you
Come
now.
on, man. Ridiculous.
But yeah, there you go. Official inter competition on Rambling Runoff during the warm up section of
Yeah.
today's programming.
You hit her first. We'll report in on the weekend. I'll take a video of this man drinking his disgusting drink.
But all right, man. We'll see what's up. But yeah, you have anything else to speak about March Madness?
No, congratulations on the teams that made it to Sweet 16. Um, sorry, Sweet 16. I'm a little congested. Um, but yeah, I mean, they're all very promising. I'm surprised Michigan State is still in this. I thought they would be upset like the past 3 years. But yeah, it's been a pretty exciting tournament so far. Good luck to those teams that are fighting for those last 8 spots.
Alrighty then. And if we have nothing else to go upon with that, are you ready to go into the rundown? Because we have a lot of stuff.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty then. And moving into our final portion of today's show and the rundown and whatever else we got left, I got to start off with one of my old passions of mine, which was running. Shout out to the people that ran the LA Marathon this past weekend.
Yeah.
Was
Shout out to Matthew Aguilar, friend of mine. You finished the LA Marathon. Shout out to you. I got to see him finish. You did
nice.
great.
Do you know what was their time, Danny, by any chance?
Yes, I do. His time was 5.5 hours, which is great for his very first marathon. Proud of
Nice.
you, Matthew.
Nice. And for the very fast runners, the people that actually train all around for these type of competitions and running events. This was the 30th annual Los Angeles Marathon presented by ASICS. It was led by Ethiopia's Jamal Yamir, who ran a time of 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 13 seconds, and Kenya's Stacy Naiwa, who ran a time of 2 hours and 31 minutes flat. Congrats to everyone who raced this past weekend. It was a little bit cloudy, a little bit wet, but good job. And shout out to local LA DJ Diplo, who ran a time of 3 hours and 55 minutes and 11 seconds.
That's great. What a
I
what a
know,
great
right?
time. That's crazy.
I know. They like, dude, they like promoted the shit out of that on their Instagram, low key.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, he must have trained really hard for that.
I mean, he's like pretty, he's not ripped, but he's pretty like slimmed up.
Uh,
He's no like random guy, you know? Like he works
yeah,
out a lot.
that's awesome.
But yeah, congrats to everybody that did it. Someday I'll do it, but I'm gonna have to change up a lot of eating and health habits of mine before I start doing anything like that.
Yeah, no carne asada every time there's a fight.
But But yeah, moving on now. In the NWSL, the season starts this week, Saturday, March 25th. We got the North Carolina Courage versus KC Current at 2 p.m. Eastern on Paramount Plus. And you catch the rest of the season as well on Paramount Plus and the CBS Sports Network. So yeah, I'm hoping forward to a good season of some NWSL soccer, especially with the women's team here in LA, Angel City FC. So yeah, I'm hoping to check them out. Um, and with more soccer news, we got U.S. men's national team having some CONCACAF Nations League group stage matchups this week as well. The U.S. men's national team will be going up against Grenada versus, Grenada will be going up against the U.S. men's national team Friday, March 24th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You catch that game on TNT Universo in Spanish and on Peacock. As well, on the 27th of March, the U.S. will be playing El Salvador here in Orlando at 7 p.m. Eastern, March 27th on Monday. You catch that game on TNT, Universo in Spanish, and also on Peacock. The lineup's looking pretty good. You got a mix of old and new faces up in there, so I'm hoping for a good competition between the squad. I hope they do good against Grenada because the U.S. men's national team, as many people know, struggle against outside competition in regards to them playing away, if that makes any sense. But yeah, we got a lot of good people in this cast of crew. Goalkeepers, Ethan Horvath, Zach Steffen, Matt Turner. Uh, Defenders, Serginho Dest, Mark McKenzie, Tim Ream, Brian Reynolds, Anthony Robinson, Miles Robinson, Joe Scally, Austin Trusty. Midfield, we got Brandon Anderson, Johnny Cardoso, Luca De La Torre, Weston McKenney, Yunus Musa, Alan Sonora. And then up front, we got Tyler Booth, who's making his debut, Daryl DK, Ricardo Pepi, Christian Pulisic, Tim Weah, Alex Zendejas, and one aforementioned Giovanni Reina. So yeah, hopefully these guys do good in their first official Leagues Cup Nations Leagues Cup matchups. So because last time they played in the final, because that was just an automatic entry, but now they're playing group stages, and hopefully yeah they do good. So go USA. Also,
USA, USA.
also in the realm of soccer, the U.S. Open Cup has started this week. If you're a soccer head like me, I'm kind of watching them here and there. They're on YouTube. Bleacher Report is hosting them on their YouTube channel right now. They are the lower tier. Currently showing the lower tier right now, which is how it usually starts. It's always the lower divisions that start off. I was watching some game. I don't know. They were like at a high school field somewhere. I'm not exactly sure. It was like dark on one side of the field. You could barely see the guy taking the corner kick. But hey, it's lower division of soccer. It is what it is. This is what people live for. And some of these guys, play for fun. Don't get paid to do this sometimes. So, cheers to them for them actually, going out and playing in the U.S. Open Cup. Moving on, the other football, tackle football, USFL, less than 25 days from kickoff. So if you're waiting for the USFL to start, you got 25 more days as of this recording, 24, 23 in that realm when you're listening to this, okay? And Danny, and NASCAR news, your boy, William Byron,
Oh, here
did
it
not
comes
win this
again.
past week. He did not win.
Oh no, damn it.
I don't even think he even cracked the top 10.
Big how about I think he was involved in a crash
I think so.
during this race, was he not?
No, yeah. This past week we had Joey Logano taking the win at the AM Better 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. In regards to the playoff standings right now, after Atlanta Motor Speedway, William Byron still in first place with his 2 wins. Then it's Joey Logano who is in second with the current regular season points. And then we got Kyle Busch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, and rounding out the top 10, Martin Truex Jr. So yeah, we're looking for another good race coming up. I did see they're testing out the North Wilkesboro? How do you say this? North Wilkesboro Speedway. So I think they're gonna do the All-Star race, which is very, very soon, I believe. Which I think is in May. So they're already starting to test it out. It's like, I know you probably don't know, Danny, but it's like this old like short track that they used to use like in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then they just stopped using it. It was like a super historical track. and like
Hmm.
just little by little they've been restoring it the past couple of years. So, like when the pandemic started, they're like, "What else are we gonna do?" They're like, "You guys want to fix the track?" And they said, "Sure."
Hmm.
So it was all like run down with like grass and shit growing around it. And then
Interesting.
during the pandemic, they basically asked some of the NASCAR drivers if they wanted to compete in like the esports, which has been a thing in NASCAR.
Hmm.
So what they did during that time when they had the actual NASCAR drivers and like some of them were playing in control, some of them were playing like in actual rigs, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, those are pretty cool.
Um, they basically rebuilt virtually North Wilkesboro, and they were racing it virtually.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you guys can go check that out. But yeah, if that's your NASCAR news for this week, and the NFL, NFL draft is coming up, April 27th, Thursday, 2023 to April 29th, Saturday, 2023, in which I think the Panthers are on the clock at the moment. Let me double check. Yes, it is the Carolina Panthers. Then number 2 is the Texans, Cardinals at 3, Colts at 4, and then the Seahawks are at 5. So yeah, if you're ready for the draft, get prepared for it as soon as possible. And then going on, some frisbee news. AUDL championship weekend will take place August 23rd in 2023 at Minnesota, and the season starts Friday, April 28th, 2023. And now, closing off the rundown, which just concluded as of this recording, in the World Baseball Classic, the USA and Japan. Japan has defeated the United States 3-2 with a pretty ironic last at bat and last pitch as Shohei Ohtani came in as the reliever closer and got the win. And Danny, do you know who he struck out at the end to get the win for Japan?
No, please tell me.
He struck out none other than his own teammate, Mike Trout.
Oh no,
Ain't that some
superstar
shit?
Mike Trout.
Bro,
Man.
teammate, hey, they're gonna be teammates in like the next like 5 hours again. But dude, that's crazy, huh? You struck out
Yeah,
your own teammate to win the championship.
I mean, this is what happens. This is like Olympic style, national level play. Sometimes you got to go up against your own teammate. Kobe versus Powell. This is just what's got to happen.
Oh, that's true. I've been seeing that clip a lot where Kobe's like, I already know what play they're gonna run. Powell's gonna set up a screen. I'm gonna run right through his chest.
Yeah,
And then everyone in the interview is like, wait, what the hell are you talking about? You're not gonna do that. That's your teammate. He's like, nah, they're gonna run the screen. And the first play of the game, boom,
yeah,
hit him in the chest. But yeah, that's a
yeah,
great comparison. Hey man,
yeah.
world, like anything that's competitive between worlds and countries, I'm all for it. Brings up more competition. And I would say like the WBC this year was like super duper popular. It does get a little bit confusing because it happens on different worlds and different continents. But
Mm,
once it comes down all together, dude, we have some great baseball out here, man. And some of the players
yeah.
have even been saying this is better than playing 4 at bats during spring training that mean nothing.
Mm, yeah. I mean, this kind of is the preview of the next Olympics that is going to take place in North America and kind of scattered all over the place, but then it'll come together for those final competitions.
Yeah,
It'll be pretty interesting. But yeah, that national level play, man, it's a whole different thing. You kind of have to throw away those like brotherhoods and whatnot for at least a couple of weeks to say, hey, this is national glory. I will never be forgotten in my home country
no, yeah.
if we win this. It's a whole nother level of recognition.
I mean, I would say although the USA did lose, you did get to see Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, and a couple other friendly faces play for the United
Hmm.
States, and a lot of people are saying like this is like Mike Trout's like first time playing in like competitive baseball in a bunch of years, which is true. It's
Yeah,
true, and it's not
yeah.
his fault. It's not his fault.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's great on him. They're getting, and Mookie Betts is the one that said that what I just said, the better than 4 at bats in spring training, because yeah, it's true. What are you gonna be doing playing spring ball for nothing?
Yeah. Playing spring ball in Arizona. Come on, man. It's no
No,
fun.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, someday I'll go out to spring training. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But Danny, do you have anything else to add in our rundown?
No, I think we covered the whole gamut.
I know. I think we did. I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if we're gonna be wrapping up now, thank you for listening to Rambling Runoff. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and give it a like as well. If you're on Spotify, give us a follow, give us a 5 stars. Apple Music, I think there's a comment section in there. So if you're on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, give us a comment. 5 stars, I believe. I think that's how it works. If you're on Stitcher, follow us. Google Podcasts. We're now on Amazon Music Podcasts. So go check us out on there. Thank you if you're listening to us. This was a good show, and this is what we usually give to you guys every day, every time that we can. And for the socials, if you're looking for us as well, you can find us on Twitter at Rambling Runoff, Instagram at Rambling Runoff. Look us up, Rambling Runoff on TikTok. But yeah, I've been your host, Robert Rios. We see you next time. For Danny Tan, see ya. Peace out.
Peace.